In this video I'm going to show you how to make origami paper, which is usually called tissue foil, which has some interesting properties and is good to fold with for complex models and models where you want to shape using the quality of the foil. For this we're going to need tissue paper. We're going to make tissue foil with two different colors on each side. So we need two sheets of tissue paper. It's very, very thin and soft, so it's not good to fold with just like that. We also need some foil, which is often used in the kitchen, and try to have foil that doesn't have a lot of creases on it. So if you go like this, it has a lot of creases, and that's no good. You'll have to cut it away. We'll also need some tape just to fix the paper. The most important one is the glue. I use this glue which I got in Germany. It's used for wallpaper to make plaster more sticky, I guess. The important thing is that it should be white glue that dries transparently. And you should be able to thin it down with water. And finally, if you're not really quite sure, you could just look for any glue which has resin and methyl cellulose as its main ingredients. This one actually doesn't list the ingredients, but I looked it up and that's what's in there. And those are the two main components that really make this glue work for the paper we're going to make. We also need a bowl and a spoon plus some water, just to water down the glue. We need a foam roller to apply the glue. And we also need a glass surface. I just used a picture frame because I can easily put it away and it's easy to clean. Right after we did the paper, we also have to clean the glass surface, so it's much easier. So finally, we also need some way of applying the tissue paper so that it doesn't have any wrinkles in it. And for that, I use these rolls, which are often inside wrapping paper, so the wrapping paper is rolled around it. So let's start with that. I'm going to take one of those and get the tissue paper out of the way by just rolling it, and try to roll it in straight so that the edges lie on top of each other, because that will make it easier to place it correctly. That's number one. And tighten it up. Might do that again just before we place it. Put that on the side. And the second one. The glass surface should be big enough so that the paper fits on it. And the tissue paper, of course, shouldn't have too many creases on it either, although it can't always be avoided. When you buy tissue paper, it's often pre-folded, but it's not that bad if that happens. Like so. Now, going to roll out some foil. As I said, we don't want any of the wrinkles. So I'm just going to place that there, and I'm going to rip the foil off here. And put it away. And fix it on that side. Like so. I think I'll rip it off on the other side too, actually. And then I prefer not fixing it on the side, but on the end. But either way should work, like so. I think I'll get a bit more length if I don't fix it on the side. Right, try to make it relatively nice and straight. Got some wrinkles in here from storing, but that's fine. Okay, we've got the foil. Now we need to thin down the glue a bit because it makes the paper thinner. So this is the glue, it's quite gooey. Just going to take 1 spoonful, which is plenty, and then add some water. I'm going to make about 1 to 1, so I'm going to add about as much water as glue, actually maybe a bit more even. Let's see whether that works out. I'm just mixing it up. This is why it should be glue that you can mix with water. Doesn't mix superbly, but you know, it mixes up a bit. So you can see it's watered down by quite a bit. That's a bit lumpy. So I added maybe 1.5 times as much water as glue. Now we're going to take the foam roller and put it in there. You can see maybe that it's quite lumpy, but that's fine. We're just going to roll on the glue. It's very thin down, and that's fine. It's still going to be enough to glue the tissue foil to the tissue paper to the foil. And other side. Try to get glue on all of the edges. That's important. And because it's white glue, you can actually see where you've already been. You might want to go over it one more time, just to make it even. But this is looking relatively good. Just going along the edges one more time. There we are. And now we're going to first take the green, let's say, and roll it up again. Check that it's just about straight rolled up. Then put it down on one side. I think you will be able to see it better if I start on this side. Like so. And then roll it over, and I'm going to take some kitchen paper like that because I'm not doing a very good job here. I got some bubbles and I'm just going to make those go out by pushing them to the edges like that. And then I can continue rolling. Take off the tape. I like to use this tape that you use when you paint your walls because it's not very sticky. And then you can pull off the paper like so and turn it over, like so, and I fix it again with that tape, just so it stays where I put it, like so. This is looking nice. And then again, apply glue. I'm going to take off that paper and just hang it on that table and let it dry for maybe, oh, this is not holding up, for maybe 5 to 10 minutes. And while doing that, I can clean this area. I can clean the foam roller and then cut the paper. Right, so I cleaned my kit. I'm sure it hasn't even been 5 minutes yet, but I think the paper is ready anyway. Just put that on there. And now I've got stencils, which I use to mark what sizes squares I'm going to cut from them. Let's see. So I can see through where the foil starts. So I know where I can start with marking squares. So I'm going to start with one of these. Take a pencil and I'm going to mark the corners and about the middle. I only have a couple of square stencils, but it's absolutely enough for marking different sizes of squares if you're careful. And now all that is left to do is cut. So let's get rid of this one. Get a cutting mat. It's one of these self-healing cutting mats. And a steel ruler, because with plastic rulers you easily damage the edge with your sharp knife. And that's no good. By the way, you can use the cheapest foil you can get. The thinner the nicer actually, and the cheap stuff is usually quite thin. You don't want any of the patterned super strong stuff that you might be able to get in some stores, in bigger stores. Just take plain foil that has no special features at all. Doesn't need to be a brand name. It just makes the foil thicker. You don't want that. And there you've got your second sheet. There we are. The rest can go. And there you've got 2 sheets. This is the one I had before, and I folded a rose from this kind of paper. This is by Brian Chan, a rose from one sheet of paper, like that. And yeah, just give making tissue foil a try. it's a very inexpensive way of making superb origami paper. So happy folding!